Welcome to another edition of Q&A with Ari Blue here on Facebook Live. I'm Ari Blue. Thank you for joining me here on this Wednesday night at 6:30. And a reminder that all of you can submit questions right here on Facebook Live. Use the hashtag #AskAriBlue. You can also submit your question on Twitter at @the_SFBN or at Ari Blue DU. I'm online on Twitter on both venues right now, and then of course we're here right here on Facebook Live. So again, thank you for joining me, and we've already got some questions submitted. A lot of people are really interested about some spring sports, so we'll start off here with a question from Josh V. Who are the top lacrosse teams in the area this spring? That's a great question. I, for one, have not fully researched all the lacrosse teams, but what I can tell you on the girls side especially, you're going to have the teams out of the Interac really be strong this year. Episcopal Academy and Agnes Irwin. Episcopal Academy, in fact, just beat Agnes Irwin 13-12 in overtime. Big game winner. Went to a third overtime. Aaron Ace Carter of the Philadelphia Inquirer covered that game. What a phenomenal game. Agnes Irwin, always one of the top teams in the area, always one of the top teams in the country. Episcopal beat them last year in the Interac, and they have a good shot to beat them again this year, obviously, because they just beat them 13-12. But those two teams are going to go at it. The Interac, always the top in terms of lacrosse. And you look at the guys' side, Malvern Prep and the Haverford School, also, again, at the top of the Interac, so they should be really competitive. In the suburbs, at least on the girls' side, Abington is a team that's really come on strong, and look out for them to make some noise in the suburbs on the girls' lacrosse side. So thank you very much, Josh V. That's a great question, and thank you for submitting it and your interest in high school lacrosse. We're going to be covering a lot of spring sports on our website, thesfbn.com. We're going to be covering some baseball, some softball, some lacrosse. We're going to mix it up a little bit in the spring. We also have our past episodes of Varsity Voice that you can watch, all of our 20 shows from our third season, also our past seasons as well. We just wrapped up our third season. It was a great season, so thank you so much if you tuned in to Varsity Voice. And then you can, of course, check out all of our great content, our great photos, and our upcoming schedule. We're going to be doing a few high school broadcasts coming up this spring that'll be spread out. So, again, thank you very much for checking out what's on SFBN. In addition to our broadcasts, we're going to be covering some cool events of sports that really aren't in season. First off, on Saturday, you've got the AllAcademic Invitational, and it's a great tournament, and you can check out the rosters on the top of your screen right now. We're going to be there. We're going to be covering it. We're going to have reporters and photographers, but it's a great event, and it's a great organization. You take a look at some of the players, and I'm looking at the rosters right now. In the freshman game, which will be the first game, Deuce Turner from Malvern Prep, one of the guys that we covered heavily on SFBN. Samir Logan from Girard College. Amir Shields, kind of a guy that really didn't get a lot of playing time on New Goretti, but look out for him. In the sophomore game, you take a look at some guys. I'm looking through it right now. So many great names here. Khalid Johnson from Hatboro Horsham, Darius Brown from Abington Friends, just two of the names that really stick out to me there. On the junior side, Karan Randolph from the Haverford School, we covered him on SFBN. Craig Logan from Girard College, they just made a run all the way to the state championship game. Alvin Williams out of Del Valle Charter. Sam Sessoms out of Shipley, we covered him as well. Daquan Copeland, also from Girard College. So a lot of great juniors in that game. And then the seniors. Such a great list of seniors here. Just looking at it again very quickly. Daquan Plowden, Mastery Charter North. Keon Hardy, Shipley School. Larry Covington, West Catholic. Malik Lorenzano from West Philly. Jai Williams from Imhotep. Just such great games and great players. So we will be there. That's on Saturday at the University of Sciences, starting at 10:30 in the morning. Great event. We're also going to be busy on Sunday with the AllStar Labor Classic. It's the 30th annual AllStar Labor Classic. We'll be there. I'll be on play-by-play on 9:90 a.m. SFBN will be running a Facebook Live. It'll just be a great event. Also, I don't have the rosters in front of me, but they always get the best senior girls and senior boys basketball players in this area. So, as you can see, we're doing a lot of great things here on SFBN. Whether it's bringing you fresh content, broadcast, going to events. We're also going to be covering the City AllStar football game coming up in May. We're going to get into that in a future Facebook Live, so stay tuned for that. All right, so we have another question that was submitted to us here. This came in from Heather S. Are you going to talk softball at all? Well, that's a great question, Heather. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We are going to talk softball, but in fact, we're actually looking and starting to develop a specific softball show right here on Facebook Live. So make sure you stay tuned for that, Heather. We're not going to get into softball today, but we are going to potentially do a softball show specific here on Facebook Live. So make sure you check out our website and our Facebook page for updates on that and when we will be starting that. Look out for that about the middle to end of this month, and we'll probably go through to May and late May as well as the softball season concludes. But thank you for your interest in high school softball there, Heather. Thank you again for watching. Again, you can use the hashtag Ask Ari Blue, and it looks like we have a few more questions here. We have a question submitted here on Facebook. We're going to go to a question here that was submitted prior before we get to the question submitted here on Facebook Live. This is from Ray D. Is Springford the best baseball team in the area, in your opinion? That's a great question. It's still very early in baseball season, and in fact, a lot of games have been rained out already. But what I can tell you is, because I know that you're a Springford fan watching this game, watching this Facebook Live session, I should say, Springford, who had been number 2, according to Rick O'Brien of the Philadelphia Inquirer, knocked off the number 1 team, according to Rick O'Brien, 1-0. Knocked off Malvern Prep on a walk-off double in the 10th inning. I mean, that's a thrilling game. I wish I was there to see that. But Springford is always in the conversation when it comes to being the top teams, one of the top teams in the area in baseball. And that win over Malvern Prep, who is always a strong team out of the Interact, shows me that right now they might be the best team in the area. But again, I put a little asterisk on there. This is a very long baseball season. We've already had a few rainouts. Players are just starting to find their footing as the weather's starting to get warm. So we've got a long way to go. But right now, based on the Rick O'Brien's rankings and what has happened with that Springford beating Malvern, I would say Springford is the top team. But thank you again very much, Ray, for submitting that question. Okay, we do have a question submitted here on Facebook Live. We're going to get to it right now. This came from Joey. Will you be introducing any new sports or have new features? That's a great question. Thank you for submitting it. In terms of the features, we did a lot of that on Varsity Voice, but the season has ended. So in terms of features, we're going to, again, bring you a lot of fresh content. We are going to give you some basketball in the springtime, which, now that the basketball state championships are over, you would have thought basketball was over. No, there's always some great All-Star games, so we're going to be busy this weekend, as we mentioned on Saturday at the AllAcademic Invitational at University of Sciences, and also at the All-Star Labor Classic on Sunday. So, in terms of old sports, we'll be covering that. But yes, we'll be getting into baseball. As we mentioned, we're going to have a softball Facebook Live show. We're going to talk some lacrosse as well. Who knows? Maybe we'll bring in some boys volleyball, which is a spring sport. But we will definitely keep that in mind, and we will continue to cover a lot of different spring sports. Because again, it's not like football is king in the fall and basketball is king in the winter. The spring, there's really a lot of different sports going on that really get a lot of equal attention. So we'll make sure to try and give all those different sports different attention. And again, if you have any requests, you could submit it through our website. You could submit it on our Facebook page, on our Twitter handle. Again, our website, thesfbn.com. We have a lot of great stuff on there. You can always submit the contact form if you go to contact us and tell us what you want to see here on Facebook Live. We want to please our fan base, hence the Sports Fan Base Network. So make sure you contact us for whatever you want to see. We do have a late question here coming in. This comes from Mark K. Per your post earlier, you said you would tell people how we can get involved. Well, with 3 question marks. Okay. Thank you, Mark, for submitting the question. And again, the question is, how do we get involved with SFBN? Well, again, you can go to our website, thesfbn.com. You can submit a contact us form on the website. You can also send us a direct message on Facebook, a direct message or a tweet on Twitter. We're very active on social media. And in terms of how you can get involved, well, we're always looking for interns. We're always looking for new writers, new photographers, new videographers, new on-air talent. We are a growing company, and we are starting to expand, and we are looking to expand, especially coming up next fall. So we are always looking for people who are interested in sports, interested in communications, interested in getting behind the camera, behind the scenes. So if any of that fits you want to get involved in the sports industry, the broadcasting industry, the film industry, send us a message. Send us an email. We will definitely get back to you within 24 hours as to how you can get involved, and we will definitely try and work you in the best we can. We're always looking for interns and new reporters and new photographers and videographers, on-air talent as well. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. And again, you can go to our website for all the information about what we do and see if anything piques your interest and see if you can get involved that way. Varsity Voice, our season's over, but you can see our past episodes. SFBN live broadcasts, our Facebook live shows, our fresh content, our photos. We have a lot of great things on our website, so make sure you check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and we have a last request here on sports to cover. Badminton was suggested by Joey. Okay, our producer says yes, so we will look into badminton, and perhaps for next Facebook Live, we will be prepared to take your badminton questions. Thank you again for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday. Actually, we're going to be off next week for spring break, but the following week, we will check in again, and of course, again, stay tuned on our Facebook page for a potential softball show, which is in the works right now. Thank you again for watching Q&A with Ari Blue. I'm Ari Bluestein. Have a good night.